crud. All right, so we have the 2016-2017 Mathletics District Competition number 2. So, problem number 1 on the written round. There are 30 clowns in the circus. There are twice as many male clowns as female clowns. How many male clowns are there? So the easiest way to do this is by writing an equation. So I know that we have 30 clowns in the circus, and I know that I have twice as many, so that's 2 times as many male as female clowns. So I have female clowns, and then if I multiply the number of female clowns by 2, I will get the number of male clowns. So if I have 2f plus f, that gives me a grand total of 3f's. So 3f is equal to 30, which means I have 10 female clowns. But that's not what I'm being asked. I'm being asked how many male clowns are there. Well, if I have twice as many males than females, I just have to multiply this by 2. So 2 times 10 is 20. So the answer for number 1 is 20. Question number 2. It's kind of a tricky question. So when we have an equation of a line, it's always written in y equals mx plus b form. And this is the equation of a line that will give us have our slope and our y-intercept. Now the trick on this one is, if I look at my points, and I'll draw it out really quickly, I have 3, -4, 3, 9, and 3, 12. And if I connect these dots together, I get a vertical line, which incidentally is not a function. So, what is my equation? Well, no matter where I am on this line, x is always equal to 3, no matter what my y value is. So, that's just my equation. X is equal to 3. And I know it doesn't really conform to this, except to say that, well, it doesn't conform to it at all. Well, I can describe it. This is not a function. It does not pass the vertical line test. If you look at your slope, you can't find it because your rise will change, but your horizontal change will be 0. And can you have a 0 in the denominator? No, you can't. So therefore, there is no slope, and it is not a function. Could you hit the door button? Problem number 3. We are looking at scientific notation. And so I'm going to write this as a division problem using a fraction bar. So we have 2.3 over 4.6 times 10 to the 6 over 10 to the -2nd. Let's deal with the base 10 first. When I have a base to a power and I'm dividing the same bases with exponents, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up subtracting the exponents. So we have 10 to the 6 minus -2. Well, 6 minus -2 is simply 8, right? So we've right over here, 10 to the 8th times, well, if I have 2.3 over 4.6, you can clearly see that this is half of this. So I have 0.5. Now, before you go writing this on your answer blank, you should remember that you need to have a number that is greater than, or that is 1 or greater and less than 10. And 0.5 is not greater than 1 at all. So we need to move this decimal place over 1. So if I'm making this number larger by a factor of 10, that means I need to make this number smaller by a factor of 10. Therefore, I'm going to end up with 5 times 10 to the 7th power. Right. That's my answer, and it should go right here. Number 4, during a leap year, if March 2nd is on a Tuesday, what day is February 26th? This would be a much more difficult problem if the two dates weren't so close together. What I would do here is I just made a table. So if I had March 2nd, and I know that is a Tuesday, March 1st would be a Monday. It is a leap year, so we have February 29th, and so that would be a Sunday. February 28th would be a Saturday. The 27th would be a Friday, and the 26th would be a Thursday. Okay. Far more difficult if we stretch out over years, per se. Which 3-digit number has a hundreds place that is twice the tens place, and the ones place that is 7 more than the hundreds place? So, I'm going to go ahead and write out my blanks. And I know right away that the hundreds place is twice the tens. So if this is t, I know this is 2t. And then I go a little bit further and see that the ones place is 7 more than the hundreds place. Well, if this is the hundreds place, what's the smallest number I could have? Well, the smallest number I could have is 2, right? Because if t is 1, this would be 2. 2 plus my 7 would be 9. Well, I can't have a digit that is larger than 9. I would have to use another place value. So I know immediately that this has to be 9, this has to be 1, and this has to be 2. Number 6. Jeremy won a math contest and got 2 prizes from a list of 10 different prizes. He was very excited. He really wanted to get the Smarties. How many combinations of prizes could Jeremy select? Well, this is a straight combination, and I would normally caution you from just seeing this as a combination, but or where it says combination, because sometimes that can be misleading. But here's the thing. We have 10 different prizes, and we can get 2 of them. And it doesn't matter what order we get these prizes in. If I get prize A and prize B, it's the same as getting prize B and prize A. That's a combination. So I have 10C2, which is equal to 10 factorial over 10 minus 2 factorial times 2 factorial. Remember, combinations will be smaller, have a smaller value than permutations. So that's why we have our extra r factorial in the denominator. So to do this by hand, I would write out 10 times 9 times 8 factorial. Why would I stop at 8 factorial? Well, because 10 minus 2 is 8 factorial. So I write my 8 factorial directly underneath. I still have my 2 factorial, which is 2 times 1. Well, I'm just going to write the 2 here. 8 factorial divided by 8 factorial is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times 9 is 45. Number 7. Now, I was very excited with how we did yesterday. I was a little disappointed to see how many people got this one wrong. We've done these a lot. So, in a nutshell, I'm just going to give you the algorithm, go through it quickly. We need to know the range. The range in this case is 102 minus 86, minus 18, I was thinking about the answer, which is 84. We have a counting number, well the counting number, well it's going up by 4, right? And we need to know the sum of the last and the first number together. And that is a grand total of 120. Alright, so here's the algorithm. We're going to take the range divided by the counting number plus 1 times the sum, and we have to divide this all by 2. The reason behind the plus 1, this is probably the most complicated, is because dividing the range by the counting number will give me how many spaces I need to go from the first number, 18, to the last number, 102. But if I'm counting how many spaces I need to move, that means I'm neglecting the first value, so that's why I have to have the plus 1. Alright, let's plug in our numbers. So we have 84 divided by 4 plus 1 times 120 over 2. So here we have 21 plus 1, well that's just 22 over 60, or times 60. Why is it times 60? Because I divided 120 by 2. Makes it a little bit quicker. So when I multiply this out, I'm going to multiply 60 on the bottom if I did it traditionally. I'll do it just so you can see it. So I'm going to go 2, carry the 1, That's 13. So we get a grand total, a sum of 1,320. Problem number 8. What fraction of 2 yards is 21 inches? Express your answer as a reduced fraction. Well, 1 yard is 36 inches. 2 yards is 72. So we have 21 over 72, and I know 3 goes into both of them. And 3 goes in here, so it goes in twice. Carry the 1, 4. And so there we go. 7 over 24. Number 9. Carmen scored a 35 out of 50. Not her best effort, I might add. But she got a little bit wiser and decided to study the next time and got 38 out of 40. Not too shabby. Well, she's feeling a little full of herself, so she didn't study as much, but more as she did the second time, but more than the first time, and she got a 35 out of 40. She had one last final exam, which was worth 100 points, and she needs to know how much, or what she needs to get on it so that she can get an A, because if she doesn't get an A, then her mother will be really, really mad at her. So she has to figure this out. Well, let's add up this column. We have 35 plus 35, that's 70. 70 plus 35 is 108. Plus my x. Do I know what x is? I don't know what x is. And that is going to be divided by the total number of points possible, which is 50, I'm going to do it this way. So 40 plus 40 is 80. 80 plus 50 is 130. Thank you. And then 130 plus 100 is 230. And so this is equal to 9 out of 10. Why 9 out of 10? Well, because that's equivalent to 90 out of 100. So then, I can treat this as a proportion. And so I'm going to cross multiply. So I have 230 times 9 is going to be equal to 10 times 108 plus x. Distribute. So I get 1,080 plus 10x is equal to 0, that's 7, that's 27, right? Carry the 2, that's 18, plus 2 is 20. And so now I go ahead and subtract my 1,080, and I get 10x is equal to 990. Well, divided by 10, divided by 10, uh-oh. Carmen is in a little bit of trouble. She needs to get a 99 if she wants to avoid getting grounded for not getting an A. I think she's got a lot of studying to do. Number 10. A line has a slope of negative 2 over 3. If the points 3, x and 6, negative 2 are on the line, find the value of x. So we have 3x, and then we have 4, 5, 6. That's right, it smells like a table. And so this is negative 2, and I know we have a slope of negative 2/3. So from here to here, I went from this value to this value, I subtracted 2/3. From here to here, well, that's going to be another 2/3, so that's 4/3. And then from here to here, well, another 2 is going to be 6/3. So that means, well, 6/3 is just 2, right? So the difference from this number all the way to this number is going to be 2. And since my slope is negative, it means the numbers are going down. If I were to go up, I'd have to add. Negative 2 plus 2 is a big, fat 0. Last problem on this page. What number is 4 times the reciprocal of 0.08? All right, so what number is, it's a big old math word, 4 times the reciprocal. So we have a number, is means equals, 4 times the reciprocal. Well, this number is just going to be 8 over 100, correct? So the reciprocal of that is going to be 100 over 8. Well, let's reduce. 4 goes into both of these. sorry, ones. 4 goes into 2 8 times. So then we have 100 over 2, which is equal to 50. I'll recap. I don't feel like that was very well explained. So my reciprocal of 0.08 is 8 over 100. So the reciprocal is 100 over 8. And we're multiplying it by 4 times. So I'm going to go ahead and cross-reduce first. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So my answer here is 50.